start with our session this afternoon. So as mentioned, the session is entitled Crafting Innovative and Creative Problem-Solving Solutions. So what do we want to do? What is the main goal of our workshop, okay? Or our this afternoon session. So we want to be able to navigate the engineering design process and the design thinking process. Okay. So again, let me introduce myself. I'm Miss Jessica De Mejillo, and I'm really happy to be able to share with you whatever we have currently in school and the things that we have experienced regarding these particular topics. Okay. First things first, nakita ko kanina parang ang daming teachers from different parts of the Philippines. So to start off, can you please type where you are right now, which part of the Philippines you're coming from? Sige, let's try. Can you chat where you're coming from? Whoa. We have how many participants? Okay. Yun, dami. Kung saan-saan. Salamat. Ayan. Okay, thank you for sharing where you are right now. Mainit ba dyan sa inyo? Ano ang inyong temperature or heat index? Sobrang init, true. Oo. Grabe, di ba? Oo. Ako din parang kapag lumabas ka kahit isang segundo lang, pagpapawisan ka na kagad. Yan. Sobrang init. Totoo. Yan. Salamat sa pag-share nyo ng lugar nyo at kung ano ang sitwasyon nyo dyan. Hindi ko rin alam kung paano tayo mabubuhay ng ganito kainit ang panahon. Okay. So as mentioned a while ago, we have a particular target in this afternoon session. We want to be able to explore the possibilities of improving learning outcomes by crafting innovative, authentic, and creative problem-solving solutions. Okay, so what we want to be able to do first is let's think of the command terms or the terms that we're going to be discussing this afternoon. Let me ask you, when I say the word learning outcomes or the phrase learning outcomes or the term learning outcomes, what do you mean by it? Ano sa palagay niyong ibig sabihin pag sinabi nating learning outcomes? Product, objectives, results, and results? Yes? Okay, so thank you for sharing. So when we say learning outcomes, that's correct, and results, these are measurable skills, abilities, knowledge, or values that students should be able to demonstrate as a result of a completing a certain particular course or when they complete a certain course. So when we say learning outcomes, what we're saying is these are student-centered rather than teacher-centered. Okay? And then we want to be able to describe what the students will do on a particular session or course. Okay, thank you. So let's move on to the next. When you hear the word innovative, what do you think does it mean? Sige. So when we say innovative, what do you think does it mean? Creative, resourceful, inventive, okay. Something new. Thank you for sharing. So when we say innovative, we're talking about innovation in education, which talks about solving a real problem in a new, simple way to promote equitable learning. So thank you for that. New ideas, correct? New methods. So make changes or do something in a new way. Correct. Now, let's move on to the term or the word authentic. So when you hear the word authentic, what do you think does it mean? Real, original. Correct. Okay, what else? What other terms or words can you think about when you hear the word authentic? So when we say authentic, not false or imitation, it's real, it's actual. So let's put it into context. So when we say authentic learning, it's a wide variety of educational and instructional techniques focused on connecting what students are taught in school to real world issues, problems, and applications. I think every teacher would want to have authentic learning in their classroom, right? Okay. So the next term is creative. So when we say creative, what do we mean by it? Sige. If you were to describe the term creative, imaginative. Thank you, Chris. What else? Unique. Okay. Able to create, artistic, original ideas. Okay. Out of the box ideas, exploring. Okay. So when we say creative, we want to say that it's able to do something, the ability or the power to create something. So when you're creative, you're able to produce something new, relevant, useful to the person or to the people who you're going to create the product to. Okay? It depends on the context of that particular person. Okay. So let's move on to the next command term that we want to be able to talk about, problem solving. Okay, so when you hear problem solving, what comes to your mind? Critical thinking, yes. Solutions, yes. Finding solutions, analysis, lutas na po. Okay? Critical thinking, analytical thinking, very good. Real life situations. Math, yes, I agree. Someone who is capable to address an urgent concern in what he is equipped with. Yes. Okay, looking for answers. Goal, simple to complex issues. Okay, keep them coming as we go through the lesson so you'll be able to think of this particular command term. So when we say problem solving, it's the process or act of finding a solution to a problem. Based on what you've mentioned in the chat, that is a similar definition. It's also the ability to understand the environment, identify complex problems, as you mentioned a while ago, evaluate strategies, and implement solutions to build the desired outcome. So, of course, obviously, we want to be able to not just know about the problem, understand it, find solutions, and of course, be able to solve it. So that's basically problem solving. So let's go back. So what we're saying a while ago is that our target for this afternoon is to explore the possibilities of improving learning outcomes by crafting innovative, authentic, and creative problem-solving solutions. Okay. So before I actually go through the actual topics, actually, ulit. Okay, so let me ask you this question. What type of problems do you have? What are the usual problems that you have in life? Sige. Money problems, yes. Financial, pare-pareho tayo, no? Any other? Wow, analytical. Go, Sheena. Okay. Love. Yes, Geronimo. Money. Emotional, Maricel. I agree, ako din. Family problems. Sa mga pinakamahirap, Miss Noyna. Yan. Weather. Okay, true. Stress management, correct? Oh, Raul says, students dwell too much in their virtual world. Thank you for sharing. Stress, prayers, what else? Environmental problems or issues, yes. Financial and emotional. Okay. Colleagues. Nandito ba yung mga colleagues mo? Madel. Okay. Pressure. Husband po. Yung husband ko din ba problem ko? Baka okay, deadlines. Yes. Things that we are supposed to do. Paperworks na sobrang dami, parang di yata nauubusan, ano? Relationship. So, all types of relationships. I agree. Okay. So, next, unruly students. Oh, true. Okay. The next question is, how do you solve your problem? So, just give me maybe basic steps that you do to solve your problems, or what are the initial things that you do in order to solve your problem? Wow, kagandahan mo, Lorma. Patingin nga, maganda ka ba talaga? Char. Okay. So what do you do to solve your Problem I love, yes. Una-una, prayer, yes. Thinking of some solutions or alternatives. Accepting them as they are. Okay, analyzing the problem. What else? Prayer. Okay, being silent and thinking of the best way to solve it. Sleep and work again. Siyempre, pag pagod ka, sometimes it's also nice to be able to rest, to be able to solve a problem better. Yan. We're more relaxed. Yan. Prayer, time management, correct? Okay. Ask help from others. Okay. We include our parents in the as active partners, correct? Because problems usually occur if the parents are not as dedicated, right, in the studies of their children. Siyempre, di ba? Hindi naman sila lagi nasa school. There are also times when they're at home. So if you have actual partnership with the parents, you're able to control these particular problems better. Thank you. Sige. What else? Prioritize which should be done first. Thank you for that. Okay. So what we're going to do now is to check, do a simple activity in order for you to have a little icebreaker on what you have been doing this morning, and then what we have been trying to talk about regarding problems. Okay. So we call this rebus or rebus or rebus. So these are picture representations of a name, work, or phrase that are popular. So all you have to do is to just chat the answer if you know it. Okay? So the first one, what do you think does this particular puzzle mean? Sige nga. In between jobs. Very good. Okay. So these are actual representations. If you think about it, this is also one of the problems that we have encountered maybe in our lives at one point in our lives, right? If we transition from one job to another, this is one of the things that are hard to transition into because you'll need to adjust again if you transfer from one job to another. So thank you for answering in between jobs. Dapat may S kasi dalawa yung job. Ayan. Okay, let's move on to the next. What do you mean by this one? Okay, so thank you for your answer. So the answer is falling in love because the love is falling down. And as you've mentioned a while ago when I asked you what problems do you have, some of you mentioned relationships. And obviously, when we talk about relationships, love is one of the more challenging but exciting problems that we have. Okay, let's move on to the next. How about this one? Falling in love in learning. True. Yon. Try to understand. Okay. So when we say try to understand, and we talk about problem solving, this is also a good way to be able to solve our problems. We have to understand all sides. Yan, all sides on everything else. So thank you for answering, try to understand. Okay, so those are the things that we've mentioned a while ago that we talk about when we do problem solving. And this particular afternoon, what we're going to show you is our two actual processes that you can use in your classroom. And hopefully this particular processes will help your students become more creative, more innovative, make everything more authentic, and make the actual learning process more challenging and fun. Okay? So are we ready? Can you give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go through the process of the engineering design process and design thinking? Yon, salamat sa mga pa-thumbs up. Okay? Thank you. Okay, so let's begin with the engineering design process. So when you say engineering, we're talking about designing and building solutions to a problem. It is actually an essential part to improving machines, electronic structures, materials, and systems. Okay? So why are we learning the engineering design system or process? Because it's another way for your students to learn and to solve a problem. And engineers obviously do their best in solving these particular problems, right? So we're going to give you an overview of how it's done so that you can do it in your classroom. Okay. So when you say engineering design process, it's a step-by-step instruction that the engineers use as a guide to solving problems. It can be applied in any problem so that you can have a solution. So this is found through an iterative approach of research, trials, and tests. Okay.
I love the idea of using toasted bread, maybe some cut up strawberries for texture. What if we tried chunky peanut butter? Yep, that's it. I'll make a peanut butter sandwich on toasted bread with strawberries and chunky peanut butter. I'll call it the Rocky Landing on the Red Planet.
Engineers use the engineering design process to solve problems. You may be familiar with the scientific method or have used it to test hypotheses in science class. The engineering design process is similar. It's a series of steps we can use to solve a problem. It's useful because it's open-ended and allows for multiple solutions to the same problem. It's also iterative, which allows us to test new solutions and encourages us to try again when our solutions don't work the first time.
First step, define the problem. What's the issue? This is also where we think about constraints. What are the limitations we have in solving the problem? Let's see how this works in real life.
I'm starving. I want a peanut butter sandwich, but not just a plain peanut butter sandwich. I'm so hungry. I need to start making this sandwich now.
Our friend needs to be able to make a better PB&J using ingredients they already have at home.
Once we know what we're solving, we need to see if anyone else has ever faced a similar problem. Maybe their solution will solve our problem or inform us on how to create a different solution.
Now it's time to design our solution, or in this case, make our recipe for the new PB&J being tested. When we design, we look at several solutions and then choose the best one to test.
I love the idea of using toasted bread to support my sandwich better. Maybe some cut up strawberries for texture. What if we tried chunky peanut butter? Yep, that's it. I'll make a peanut butter sandwich on toasted bread with strawberries and chunky peanut butter. I'll call it the Rocky Landing on the Red Planet.
Time to prototype. That means we get to build a model and test how it works. Or in this case, it's time to make our sandwich. You can also think about the prototype stage like writing a rough draft of a story.
Now that we've built our prototype, or sandwich, it's the test stage. This is where we see if our solution works. If it doesn't, you simply go back and try again.
It's delicious! But I wonder how I can make it better.
If your first design doesn't work, work with friends to create more design solutions. Build another prototype and test again.
It's important to share your solutions. Here's the recipe we made.
We'd love to hear what solutions you propose for a better PB&J. Send us videos or pictures of your sandwich. We might just give them a try.
Let us know what you thought of this video down in the comments section. And if you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like and a share. And follow STEM in 30 on Facebook and Twitter, and subscribe to the National Air and Space Museum's YouTube channel.
Okay, so I actually wanted to just show you this image or picture regarding the engineering and design process. But while looking into ways on how to be able to learn more about the design engineering process, I was um, able to watch this video, and I said it's easier to understand if it's on a point of view of a kid, right? Or a student or someone who's younger. So as mentioned there in the video, the design engineering process is very simple to do. It's just, it undergoes a particular step. It doesn't need to be a linear process. You can keep repeating until you're able to solve the problem. So here are the basic steps of the engineering design process. So you just need to ask, research, imagine a possible solution, plan how you're going to apply the solution, actually create the prototype or create the solution, and then you're going to test it. After testing, if it doesn't taste good, if it doesn't work, you just have to improve or to try again. So if you think about it, when I was younger, when I was studying, almost all of the things that we do in class actually undergoes this particular engineering design process. We just don't say it's an engineering design process. But when you actually think about it, maybe the activities that you do in class are already doing this particular step-by-step process. So all you need to do is to be able to inform the students what the process is called, so they're able to also be aware, they're aware of what particular processes they're actually using or making or doing. Okay. So obviously the design engineering process has different steps. There are different ways that you can do or use the design engineering process. But that's not the only thing that you can do in the classroom. When you think about this particular processes, you also have to think about different activities that you can put inside your lessons without really thinking of the entire process automatically. So you don't have to go through all the steps at the same time. You can also just use 1 to 2 steps or 3 steps, but you can also use different activities that help you understand the design engineering process. So the first activity that I would like you to, that I'm suggesting, would be drawing and labeling a diagram. So it's where you actually ask your students to take a photo of something or do something, draw something, create something, and then ask them to be able to label that particular output in detail. So I think the most important part of labeling is not just naming your actual diagram or your image or your picture, but to actually be detailed with it. So you just have to be thorough when you say this is what you call, for example, the wheel. The wheel is composed of what? What are the components of the wheel? How big is the wheel and what should be in the wheel when it's placed in the actual prototype? So why do we want to have a detailed design plan? So that we will be able to assemble the prototype better or easier. Yeah. Okay. Next, it's to be able to evaluate a design. So, for example, if you look at the photo, you will see there a toothbrush. Okay. And once you give an actual output to your students, once you give an actual toothbrush to your students, for example, what you want them to undergo is to evaluate the design of the toothbrush. So what are we talking about? We're talking about, what can you say about the toothbrush? Was it able to target the purpose of the actual toothbrush? What is it made of? How is it going to be used? And why do we need a toothbrush? Diba? This particular activity will hopefully be able to help our students understand better the designs that were created already. And of course, if you understand the design more, maybe you could suggest a better design next time. But ganyan man nangyayari sa mga bagay-bagay. Okay. So let me just pause for a moment at this particular point of the discussion and ask if you have questions. You may put them on the chat box, or you can just use the Q&A option. So if you have concerns or questions as of the moment, or at any point you can ask them. Hi, Joyce. Yes, please do ask questions if you have at any point of the discussion, because it will be a long discussion and I don't want to be able to cut your thoughts if you have concerns or questions. Okay. Sige. So any more questions so far? Do you have questions so far? Okay. If none, let me continue with the other activities that you can use that will help you understand the engineering and design process better. Okay. So this particular example is one of the things that I like because it's also as challenging but fun to do. So biomimicry is an actual process where it's able to imitate the living. So it practices or learns from or mimics the strategies found in nature to solve human design challenges. And of course, obviously, to find hope. Okay.
Welcome to the Product Design Show. I'm Vince Penman. For the past 3.6 billion years, nature has been solving many of the same problems that designers face today.
In today's episode, we'll look at some examples of biology-inspired design. I'm Allison Tupperwine.
Designing biologically inspired components into man-made products is called biomimicry.
Some of the world's most famous inventors have used it in their designs. Take, for instance, Leonardo da Vinci.
The quintessential Renaissance man wasn't only an incredible engineer, he was also a keen observer. Throughout his notebooks are numerous observations about birds and their flight, culminating in his sketches for flying machines.
Although da Vinci never made a heavier-than-air flyer, when the Wright brothers first flew in Kitty Hawk, they too said they were inspired by their observations of pigeons.
And while flight may have been biomimetics' crowning achievements, the practice has inspired the design of a wide range of products, from Velcro to cars.
Back in 2005, Daimler Chrysler unveiled their Bionic car concept, a vehicle inspired by both the shape of a yellow boxfish and growth patterns of bone.
You see, while the yellow boxfish is an odd-looking critter, its body shape actually makes it cut through the water with minimal drag. So Chrysler's designers borrowed it.
But to really make a revolutionary vehicle, the Bionic car's designers looked to natural bone to dictate the way the car's frame was structured.
Bone is pretty tough stuff, but it's not totally solid. Bone actually grows to directly meet the tensile load that it will bear, so it's no heavier than it has to be.
Applying this concept to the Bionic car's frame reduced the vehicle's weight while also making it stronger in just the right places.
In the end, using biomimicry helped the Bionic car achieve a 70 mile per gallon fuel economy while also scooting from 0 to 60 in 8 seconds, all on a 140 horsepower engine.
Now, the Bionic car is pretty cool, but nature doesn't just exist on the macro scale. Most of the time, it's so small you have to view it through a microscope.
So now designers are looking to bacteria and viruses to help design products on the nanoscale.
One massive discovery that has the potential to revolutionize entire fields and products are carbon nanotubes.
Inspired by naturally occurring carbon structures, manufactured carbon nanotubes are some of the strongest materials known to man.
Scientists have discovered that carbon nanotubes are extremely hard and good thermal conductors, and that they may have superconducting properties, making them a pretty versatile material.
With biomimetics leading designers to create even more complex products, robust design tools and huge processing power will be key to effective product development.
This episode is sponsored by PTC. To learn more about PTC Creo and how it can help your team develop complex products, visit ptc.com/product/Creo.
And thanks for watching this episode of the Product Design Show. Please give it a like on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, or give us a rating on iTunes.
It's a bit exciting to actually ask the students to do this in the classroom, biomimicry. So there are a lot of resources online that you can use and you can ask your students to try. So here is an example of a worksheet on biomimicry, wherein there are actual outputs that are expected of the students to observe, to discover, and hopefully to inspire them to develop innovative ideas based on nature. Okay, wow. Saya, no? Pagkapanood ko niyan, sabi ko, parang sometimes we forget how important these particular things are. because they're always available around us. But we know that the things that are developed are based on these particular things. Okay. So if you're going to go around or search the internet, you will find a lot of examples of biomimicry. And this particular example actually shows you where it came from and what was the results. And this particular challenge of creating solutions and doing this particular activity will help the students be more innovative, resourceful, creative when making solutions. Okay, so here are some of the examples of the resources that are available if you wanted to try biomimicry in your classrooms. Okay. So a while ago, we talked about different activities that you can actually do using the engineering design process. And obviously, aside from those activities, it's as important to actually try using engineering design process in the classroom. To not make it more complicated, all you have to do is to have 5 steps that your students can follow once they want to be able to solve a particular problem. Okay, just ask, imagine, plan, create, and improve. Okay, when they create the prototype, all they have to do is to share it with someone else so that there is more improvement and more enhancement before the final output. Okay, so that is the engineering and design process. So thoughts on the engineering and design process? Do you think there are activities that you have been using on the engine that are similar to the engineering design process steps? Can you put it on the chat box? Maybe can you give me some of the steps that you actually are using similar to the engineering and design process? This is regardless of the subject that you are teaching. If you think that there are steps in the engineering design process that you have asked in your class, please put it on the chat box and share the topic and maybe the step that you have been using in the classroom. Sige. I'll give you 2 minutes to think of a previous lesson, a previous topic that deals with any of the steps of the engineering design process. Meron ba? Is there anyone who can share? I think science is a good example for this one, right? When we talk about science, almost all the steps are used in their processes. Lalo na pag IPs, investigatory projects. For history subjects as well, right? If you want to be able to evaluate an event, a current event, yan, English, improving vocabulary words, correct? Right. So I think when we say create, in that particular example, Marjorie, I think when we go to the create step, it's actually using the vocabulary word, right? Speech writing, yes. English features of a website, creating their own website using Google Sites, correct? Making house miniature model, yes. Preparing range of sandwiches. Oo, parang masarap kumain, no? And then testing kung masarap ba yung ginawa nilang sandwich. Naalala ko nung bata akong pinagawa sa akin ay tocino. Diba? Sa tocino. Oo. Unang ulam na natutunan kong gawin. Gumawa ng tocino. Fairness. After nun, mukhang marunong na yata ako. Naalala niyo ba? Okay. Science for scientific method, correct? Yes. TLE, electronics. Thanks, Regina. I think also when you talk about electronics, there are a lot of things that you can develop or create after undergoing them, right? Writing a poem or constructing a sentence. Paggawa ng sanaysay for Filipino. Creating a fashion show for Ibong Adarna. Pagpapakilala ng tauhan. Ang saya niyan, Alam. Oo. Ba't wala yan ng panahon ko? Gusto ko yan. That's a good suggestion, di ba? You'll have to know the characters to actually design clothes for them. Ang saya, di ba? So it's not just choosing what clothes to wear. It's actually understanding the characters to be able to select the best clothes for them. Siyempre, di ba? If you're able to differentiate their status. Yan, Alan. Winner. Okay, sentence construction. Imagining situational aspects, right? Correct. Scientific investigatory project, science investigatory projects, t-shirt printing, designing your own. And then, of course, when you design a shirt, sorry, I'm explaining a lot of things here. When you design a shirt, it's not just designing a shirt. The shirt should be saleable, di ba? You'll have to be able to sell that shirt para malaman mo kung maganda ba siya, worth it ba siyang isuot. Yan. English, creating sentences using SVA or subject-verb agreement. Yes. Thanks, Jean. Okay. Crafting activity using empty boxes. Technical drafting, 2D and 3D with prototyping. David, gawa tayo nito. 3D, creating jewelry boxes. Ayan. Thanks, Alan. Ayan. Movie making, mga mahalagang pangyayari sa kasaysayan. Music and art, theater. And theater actually ang pinaka-challenging for me because you have to work a lot to actually make a play that's worth watching, right? Experimentation. Yan. Good afternoon, Jerosa. Yan. Economics, sector ng industriya, creating a product. Yes. And then, topic, earthquake, simulation of an earthquake and testing the design if the use of straws of soda and paper clips as building. Will it actually work for if there is an earthquake? Yeah. Research, food processing. Thank you for sharing those particular topics, and thank you also for opening your minds regarding the engineering design process. It actually is a simple process, but it takes a lot of steps to be able to do it. The steps are simple to remember, but there are a lot of stages that you have to undergo to be able to accomplish. Okay. Yan, multimedia presentation, stage play for El Filibusterismo. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so when we are able to use the engineering design process, we're able to target a lot of things. And here are the things that we can target. There are a lot more, but I just enumerated 5 for you. So learning through repetition, as mentioned, since it's a process, you don't have to stop. You can keep on going until you are satisfied with the results or with the ending. Learning by doing, obviously, we know this. The students will learn more if they actually make it or do something, rather than just listening or just repeating what you've taught them. Learning by role modeling. So this is also a good way for them to learn a lot of things, both with dealing with other people, so collaborating with other people, same age, maybe older, someone with authority, or someone younger. Okay, learning by playing, because we all have fun when we play, and it's one of the things that is captured in the engineering design process. And I think one of the more important learnings is collaboration. Okay, so let's now proceed to design thinking. Before I proceed to design thinking, any questions regarding the engineering design process? If none, can you give me a thumbs up if it was clear enough for you? Yan. Thank you. Salamat naman po sa mga pa-thumbs up niyo. Yan. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for doing a thumbs up sign. So we have undergone the engineering design process, and there is also another way of solving a problem. And in this one, it's what we call the design thinking. So it's also a process, but it's basically different steps as well that will give you an overview of how to solve a problem better. So when we say design thinking, we're talking about a process and a mindset for developing creative solutions to a problem. Okay? So there are a lot of steps of the design thinking similar to the engineering design process. But there's one step that's different or new in design thinking that is not found in the engineering design process. Can you make it or put it in the chat box if you know this particular step that is not found in the engineering design process? Ano kaya ang bago dyan? Okay, so most of you have answered this correctly. So there's empathize and define. It's the empathize actually that's a new step or the step of the design thinking, that is the somewhat the focus of the design thinking process. Sige, when you hear the word empathy, what comes into your mind? Can you put it in the chat box? Can you tell me a word or a phrase that would be a good descriptor of empathy? So thank you for your answers. Yes, it's when you understand that the person better, when you put yourself in that person's shoes, di ba? Sabi nga nila, maiintindihan mo lang daw ang isang tao kapag inimagine mo kung paano maging siya, di ba? If you're going to comprehend or understand, yes, that person, and giving compassion. So mararamdaman mo yung empathy. Understand, share feelings, perspective, and experiences of others. So why is it important for people to include the empathy part of problem solving? Usually in the design engineering process, they just give solutions without thinking of who will use it, right? A while ago, we've talked about solving problems. We did not talk about who we are solving the problems for. In the design thinking process, we're talking about making a solution that is dependent or that is based on someone else or on a person. So may user. So may tao tayong pinag-uusapan. And I think it's a good process because the solution is aimed towards the person who has the problem. Okay? So that's also a good way of doing the design thinking. So I'll not go through all the steps already because it's similar to the design engineering process. And later on, my colleague David will try to explain it further to you when he gives you examples on how to use it. Okay? So when you think about design thinking, as I've mentioned a while ago, we are talking about 3 different stages that a person goes through before solving a problem. We're talking about intellectual component. We are talking about empathy, which deals with the emotional dimension of the problem. And of course, we also have to think about the practical execution of the idea or the solution that we plan to do. So if you are going to use the design thinking process, the first thing that you should think about is, what do we need to remember when we make a solution? So in this particular photo, it gives you 3 different lenses of design thinking. So we have a particular goal that we have to achieve, but before we can achieve that goal, there are 3 things that you have to talk about. Sorry, is my voice not loud enough? Or is it clearer now? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Yeah, okay. Sorry. So when we talk about the 3 lenses, we're talking about desirability. What do people want? What do they want to achieve? Okay. We also want to be able to make it viable, or will it be profitable to that particular person, company, or for that particular group. And then the third one is feasibility. Is it possible? Kaya ba? Attainable ba? Magagawa ba natin yung solution na? So those are the 3 lenses that you have to think about when you're talking about using the design thinking process. Okay. So there are also a lot of elements that are found in design thinking because the design thinking process has different stages. Some are shorter, The others are more detailed. And there are also some who say that you just need 4 stages or steps. So when you make the design thinking process, there are only a few things that you have to remember. So you have to reframe the problem. You have to change or have a different way of thinking. So you have to think differently. And then you have to employ, when you think differently, you have to employ different style of thinking because you're somewhat like thinking out of the box. A while ago, I read some of you say out of the box solutions. And then obviously similar to the design at the engineering design process, you're going to create and test prototypes. And then you're going to iterate, and then you are going to do empathy as well. So as you can see, there's actually no arrow in this particular example because it can cross over each other. You can go in different directions. You can use all the stages, or you can use only one stage or 2 stages. So it depends on how you want the design thinking process to work when you make your solutions. Okay. So it's a non-linear process. So it can move from one particular example to another, or one particular step to another. Okay. So a while ago, we've talked about the design engineering process. Sorry, the engineering design process. Now we're talking about the design thinking activities that you can do before you make the design thinking process. So as mentioned a while ago, you can also focus on design thinking, but there are a lot of things that you can do in the classroom that will help the students learn more about design thinking. So these are the things that we want to be able to teach you or to share with you so that you can have multiple activities in the class that will make them more engaged when they do design thinking. Okay, the first one is the Design Thinking 30 Circles Challenge. May 20 rin actually. So for example, if you were given a minute to use these circles to create new objects, what will you do? So that's a 30 circle challenge activity. So you can use all the 30. It depends on you. Just make sure that the actual drawing is an actual item. Okay? So it's an existing item. So bahala ka na mag-isip kung ano yan. So this particular challenge will enable the students to have multiple, you have to think of multiple ideas to be able to complete the circles, and they have to use their creativity to be able to accomplish this task. Another good design thinking activity is the Rose, Thorn, and Bud activity. I think most of you have tried this in the classroom already, right? It's a reflection activity wherein you use the 3 different examples for to reflect on a particular event, action, or task. So when you say rose, it's the success kasi diba, roses are beautiful and when they're fully grown. So what have you learned from the activity? Thorns are the challenges that happen to you during the activity or the event. A bud is an idea that pops into your mind after undergoing the process. So, di ba? If para siyang aha moment, so use that for the bud. Okay? So this is an example of a design thinking activity. Another design thinking activity is improvisations or improvs. So these are activities that you can use in the classroom as well. So the first one is yes, but, and then the second one is yes, and. So for example, person A suggests doing something with person B. And then person B will say, yes, but, so for example, sabihin niya, halika, manood tayong sine. Oo, kaso parang wala akong pera eh. Oo, kahit wala kang pera, basta pumunta tayo. So it's always going to be a conversation of negation. Yes, but, when they answer each other. The next statement is yes, and. Person A makes a suggestion, but this time person B will say yes, and. So for example, halika manood tayong sine. Oo, tara. At saka kumain tayo pagkatapos. So see the difference between yes, but and yes, and. And you will see how creative they will be when they are able to answer the question. Roots. Yes, Miss Marjorie. Correct. Aside from, thank you for answering, aside from rose, thorn, and bud, you can also add roots, sources of inspiration, and syempre yung what basis, what do you think are, saan nanggagaling lahat nitong mga learnings niyo? Thank you. That's a good suggestion. Okay. Another good activity for the design thinking process is for students to have their own persona. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this with the students, diba? May certain image silang gusto. May certain look, certain kind of person that they want to be able to do. And if you ask your students to make a representation of the most common target audience, for example, if they're going to create something, they have to be able to create a persona who will be the best representation of the user or the end user of their product. And how do they do that? They have to have a persona. A persona is a representation of the most common target audience, characteristics of your target audience. So for example, you're creating a work from home chair for a teacher. So ano ba yung common persona of all teachers? Gusto nila malambot yung upuan. Gusto nila nagagalaw nila yung upuan para kahit saan sila magpunta sa bahay, gumagalaw din yung upuan. Or it's mobile, the mobility, things like that. And then you put them together, and then you can think of a particular theme for the persona, and you can also describe that person. So if you were to describe a teacher nowadays, what kind of description or what kind of persona would that teacher be? So I'm sure, just thinking of this activity, a lot of you already can think of activities that will help you with this design thinking process. Okay. So first things first, we've talked about design thinking. Can you think of initial topics and the design thinking activities that you can apply similar to the engineering design process that we had a while ago? And how do you apply these activities and the actual design thinking process? Can you think of an example for this? Can you use the chat box, please, to give me an idea of how you plan to do this design thinking process? Yan. Sige, kanina you were talking about how to use the engineering design process. Now we're going to talk about the design thinking process. So 2 minutes to chat possible applications of this design thinking process in your classroom. Creating a website. Thank you, Regina, for answering. When you design a theme park attractions based on the George Orwell's 1984. Yes, nice. Of course, are we talking about the rides or the things that you see in the theme park should be somewhat like a replica of 1984? Or are we talking about characters, games that are based on the characters? Enjoy lang. Nag-enjoy lang ako sa mga suggestions, no? Thank you, Florine May, for your suggestion. So I was thinking like they can create an actual replica in the classroom, right? Of that particular theme park. It would have been nice. Meron pa ba kayong ibang naiisip that you can apply the design thinking process? Aside from this one that were suggested, thank you for answering. Any more? Deciding on what product or service to have and trip. Yes. Yan. Souvenir food should reflect their literary theory. Escape room. Uy, ang saya. Project-based learning in math. Sharon. Thank you. Are we talking about, Geronimo, just your subject math, or are we thinking about synergizing with another subject? Yeah. That's also a good example of the PBL. Okay. So I guess you can give your examples. You can chat them as we go on with the presentation. And we are now moving on to applying design thinking in the classroom. Okay. So a while ago, I've talked about just the steps and possible activities that you can use in design thinking. We're now moving towards actually explaining and telling you our experiences regarding design thinking. So later on, you can ask questions on how else you can use design thinking in the classroom. Okay. So let me be the one to introduce my colleague here. His name is David Reyes. He's a computer teacher in Xavier School San Juan. He's a Google certified educator, an Apple teacher, and also an Apple learning leader. He's also a computer teacher and a science teacher. O, diba? STEM na STEM na. Okay. Yan. Okay. With that, let me unshare so that David can start sharing his presentation. Thanks, guys. I'll come back in a little while.
Thank you, Mrs. Demihilio. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. May I see a heart react again, just like what our coordinator from the CNE, a heart react from Luzon schools. And what about party popper react from Visayas? And a clap react from Mindanao, our participants from Mindanao. Yan, maraming salamat po. Again, my name is David Reyes. I have been teaching for almost 15 years now. Just like what Mrs. Demihilio, I am together with her teaching computer and robotics in Xavier School. As you can see naman in my background, we have been doing online learning as well for almost 3 years now. So before anything else, I hope you have learned a lot from the discussion shared by Mrs. Demihilio, and I'm here to give you an overview again of what a design thinking is, how we utilize it in the classroom, and of course, actual examples that my students did in the classroom, particularly focused on computer education subjects. So later, I will ask you what kind of topics can you think of, or what topics can you think of that you think you can utilize the use of, or you can utilize design thinking in your grade level, either grade school or high school. So let me just share with you my screen. Right, there we go. So again, as I mentioned, this will just be a continuation of the discussion from Mrs. Demihilio. So, but this one will be focusing on how we utilized the use of design thinking and the products of our students. So later, I'll show you also the actual example or the exemplars from my grades 9 and 10 students. But I have one question here. How do you think we can apply design thinking in the classroom? So earlier, Mrs. Demihilio have been sharing with you certain activities, strategies, and things. And I've seen also in the chat box that very active participants, I really like that, suggesting different ways and activities. And one comment or one suggestion struck me is the idea of dressing up for the Ibong Adar. I like that. Sabi nga ni Mrs. Demihilio earlier, sana meron din tayong ganoon nung time natin. So, swerte yung mga estudyante ngayon na sobrang daming ways din on how they can really learn the subject and appreciate the subject more, even more. Okay. So, just one question. I'd like you to put your answers in the chat box. So, how do you think we might, as teachers, we might empower our students to solve world's biggest problems? No need to use highfalutin words, no need to explain or expound. Just tell me briefly, how do you think we can empower our students to solve not the world's biggest problem, probably let's start with the community first, community problem. Okay, from Ms. Carmina, be a role model. Give actual example from Sir Geronimo, from Christopher. build their confidence, begin with the community, observe study cases, reflect on own actions. Please keep your answers coming. I really appreciate that. So these are some of the things that, of course, some of you have been teaching for like 10 or more years, and some of you have been just recently graduated and took the licensure. Congratulations to those who passed. And for those of you who are beginning to understand the nature of the academic world, these are things that will take time for us also to process on how we can empower students. And because of the access to technology and of course the internet as number one provision, with the rise of AI or artificial intelligence, there are a lot of ways now on how we can measure if our students have been empowered to solve particular problems. I also saw the answer of Ms. Ruby Grace, project-based learning. Later, I'll show you also an example of a project-based learning from grade 9 students and how we applied it in using the design thinking process. Thank you for those for your answers. Of course, we empower, the teachers should also be empowered to develop future-ready students. As I have mentioned, experiences and time will really help us in creating the students who are future-ready. That's the goal of our sharing this afternoon. Now, I am again going to share with you an application of design thinking. So earlier, Mrs. Demihilio already explained the engineering design. So it's very similar with with only one item that is missing from the engineering design, and that is the empathy. And earlier, it has also been explained well on what empathize mean. But I'd like to give you again an overview of what these stages are before I share with you the actual and of course personal experience of my students and of course the way I teach or handle design thinking. So for the first one, we call it empathy. So again, this stage involves understanding the needs and perspective. This one would require, of course, the user now. Usually, the design thinking is used in corporations, in companies where they solve problems of customers. And then eventually, it was applied in the world of the academia. Because why not, right? Why not? Why can't we try to apply the design thinking, where in fact we can really use design thinking to solve a particular problem, not just as a big problem, but particularly in your subject area. A topic, for example, in your subject, where the students can further apply or see the application of that particular topic in the real world. Okay, it involves research, of course. It involves interviews with people. Of course, it's like scientific method. It involves observation and many ways on how we can gain insights, experiences, and challenges from a particular person. Later in the example, I will share with you how we start with the empathy. I'm not going to go to the nitty-gritty or details of how we teach the empathy or the stage of designing. I'm just going to give you an overview of the definition of the stages and then focus more on the application of it. The second stage would be define. So in this problem, so after you have interviewed the person, after you have obtained the idea, after you have obtained what is it with this particular group of people that they have problems with. Example, jeepney drivers right now. Tama? Very, very timely ang ating example. Ano ba yung issue ngayon na kinakaharap ng ating mga jeepney drivers? Sige nga po, let's use the chat box. What do you think are the issues that our jeepney drivers are facing right as of the moment? Meron po bang nakakaalam? Modernization. Okay, so that's the issue, right? So the issue is modernization. And then here, what we did with the first stage is to empathize, right? To feel what they feel. Not to become a jeepney driver, but to make sure that we put ourselves in the situation of the jeepney drivers. So we have to identify first, what do these jeepney drivers experience? Mababa ang mahal ang gasolina, Okay? Mahal ang modernization program nila. Iba, China-made. Diba? Konti lang yung kinikita. Konti lang din yung may papakain para sa pamilya. So these are examples of the things that these jeepney drivers experience. And now, in the second stage, that's where we frame the problem. We define the problem. We promote an opportunity to address the problem. So that's the stage where promotion of the problem comes into picture, or creating the problem. So why do our jeepney drivers experience this way? You also have to base the question on the empathy, based on the interview, based on the observation that you have conducted in stage one. Then after you have framed the problem, created a statement where the jeepney drivers experience this because of the low income, and yet they are forced to what? To apply a modernization program to get a new jeepney in order for them to continue their franchise. So that's an example of a problem statement. That's where we define the problem. And after define the problem comes the next stage, which is to ideate. From the term itself, ideating solution, this is where we now come up with multiple solutions. Not just one, but we can create more solutions. Okay? We can create more solutions that you think will address the issue of jeepney modernization. Or we can suggest solutions wherein jeepney drivers can have another option or alternative. Brainstorming a wide range of possible solutions. Thank you, Ms. Carla, for that idea. If you have also an idea on what the stage is all about, please feel free to type it in the chat box. So from Dave Gonzalez, this is where students generate wide range of ideas to address the defined problem. So it's not just one, teachers. It's not just one. It can be multiple ideas. That's what we actually want, for the students to come up and brainstorm not just one solution, but multiple solutions. Because of course, in the long run, that's why it's called iterative process. It's because it can be repeated. They can go back to any step and then rephrase, recalibrate, redo, improve, etc., etc. That's what's nice about engineering and design thinking. Okay, so techniques like brainstorming, mind mapping, sketching are commonly used in this stage. And then the fourth stage now, so after you have chosen or after you have provided multiple solutions, of course, you narrow down your solutions, because you cannot, of course, create all of the tentative solutions. Let's say, for example, you ask the students to come up with 5 solutions. Of course, you cannot do all of it at the same time. You do it one at a time. And that's where prototype comes into picture. Okay, so just like what Ms. Carla here, it's a mock-up design. So it's not actually the actual solution, but it's more of creating something that could be a tentative, the solution to the real world problem. Now, a question: is the prototype, or does the prototype need to be a tangible item? Okay nga po, let's use the chat box. My question is, does the prototype in design thinking need to be a tangible or physical solution? Leeson said no, it could be a simulation. Dave said yes. Christopher said yes. Leeson said no. Mary no, yes. So it's a mix of yes and no, yes and no answer. Well, to be maybe, yeah, this is the safe side, no, maybe. So prototype, it does not have to be physical, okay? It does not have to be tangible in order for you to come up with it. It depends on the problem. But what if you are asked to come up with a solution wherein you're going to propose? Let's say, for example, you're going to design, simulate. So these are examples of things that you can do in order for you to say that, oh, this is a tentative solution that we are doing, and we'll try to test it eventually, to see if this one will work. So again, teachers, prototype need not to be a physical output. Okay? It's an iteration of an idea. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng kahit anong klase as long as it will address the solution or it will address your problem. And that will come from the ideate stage. So again, it depends on the context. It can be a physical model, even a sketch, wireframes, role-playing scenarios. The goal is to quickly and cheaply test your ideas and gather feedback. So you notice that the prototype has this term feedback. The feedback is actually done after the testing phase. So the testing is where you test your prototype. And then from there, you will now see if the product that you have created or the tentative solution that you have created from the prototype phase is effective or not. Now, feedback is very important. Just like we teachers, as we give out our assessments to the students, when we check assessments, let's say, for example, may it be multiple choice, may it be problem solving, may it be essay or what, we have to give or provide feedback. Why did we give a score of this? And of course, because of the rubric as well. So the rubric lessens the explanation part from the teacher, right? But for the testing, it's important that we give our feedback and insight because that's where the iterative process comes into picture. Oh, may kulang sa ganito. Bakit hindi siya naging effective? Ano yung kulang sa ginawa ninyo? May kulang ba? Sumobra ba? Things like those. Those feedback and insights are very crucial in order for them to develop a better product in the long run and eventually come up with the final solution. So just like what Dave Gonzalez mentioned in the chat box, testing helps them refine, very good, no? Refine their ideas and identity for improvement. Ayan, I really appreciate po. Pre-test and post-test, ayan, yung mga kailangan natin gawin. So ito na, I think Ms. Carla is a math teacher, no? Statistical analysis also, that's I think for the higher grade now, for senior high school and probably for college students as well. Of course, the use of statistics could be another thing, no? Especially what if your subject naman is not really into gathering data. But again, these little things are actually helpful in the final testing of your final provision for your solution. So again, these are the stages of design thinking. And again, if the product is not effective, then you go back to either you go back to the defining the problem, you go back to the ideating solution, or you go back to the prototype, create another one, or improve your prototype. What's important is you're able to do testing and eventually see if that will really work, if it's effective or not. And then from there, you identify the strengths and, of course, your weaknesses. So again, these are the overview of the stages of design thinking. The nitty-gritty, of course, it's up to you on how you will deliver it. It's either you do it per session, and then you do one session. For example, that's what we did in our school. Since computer in Xavier School is done twice a cycle. By the way, we're a cycle basis where we meet twice a cycle, 7-day cycle. So we meet the first day, and then the second day we create the worksheet or the assessment for that, and then next week, second and third stage, and then we create the assessment for that, and so on and so on. And eventually, it would lead to the bigger output. Now, what are the possible examples to use design thinking? Nga po. For grade school and high school students po, if they're, sorry, I'm not sure with the I know we are diverse, but I'm not sure if there are teachers here who are teaching grade school. You just have to find a topic that will suit your the use of the design thinking. So in my example, I have here the digital citizenship. So we all know digital citizenship is under computer education topic. So this one in grade 10 particularly focused on cyber crimes and online violations. So, but first I'd like to ask a question. How, or can you think of an activity where you could apply the design thinking process. So the first one is, of course, you have to identify an activity or problem-solving scenario where you believe design thinking could be effectively utilized. Then you have to describe how you would approach the chosen activity. Just do bullet or just do number. No need to do. Sorry, wait lang. There is a question now in the Q&A. Just give me a moment to open that up. Ayan. So far, wala namang questions sa ating question and answer poll. But I think you can ask the questions naman here directly in the chat box. So, but if the question really would require a detailed explanation, then you can use the Q&A box in order for us to address it properly. Sige. Anyone po who would like to share in the chat box where you can think of topics, trending topics right now in your particular subject area where you can apply design thinking. For example, in grade school science, ano po ba ang mga ginagawa nila? Photosynthesis. Do they learn photosynthesis in grade school? I think for grade 6, I'm not sure, but not the detailed photosynthesis, huh? It's like a scientific method, right? But using the design thinking, how can we further let the students explore possible ways on how to enrich, no, or probably learn more about the design thinking. I mean photosynthesis using the design thinking process. So let me just park this question. Storyboard creation, yan. I also agree to that. The creation of storyboard, for example, you're going to create a story, a video, comic strip. Storyboard is important. College setting, teaching tourism students, we could have an activity revitalizing a local destination. Yan. Very good example po no, from Miss Carla. Perspective of tourists. Are they familiar with it? Creating multimedia presentation using different resources. Okay. What else? Preservation of traditional Asian theater plays in today's generation. Yan. So magandang mga topics po yan. Just like what you have been sharing with Mrs. Demingilio earlier. So these are examples that are really good, no? In order for us to see if our students would really learn a lot from or would maximize the learning of your subject area, particularly a certain topic in your subject area using the design thinking. Paggawa ng brochure ang turismo, PLE, marketing strategies, design and infographic materials to solve problems about global warming. So yeah, thank you po for your answers. I appreciate that. So marami pa po, no? Siguro yung ba sa inyo nag-iisip pa, it's not naman easy to really sit down and then on the spot you answer the question, but I wanted to revisit since the school year, some of you have the school year will end in 2 months time, in June, right? May or June. Think of an activity that will culminate the learning for this quarter or this term. What is the major unit or the topic that you would like to leave to your students that will eventually encapsulate all the learnings and the things that you want to transfer to your students? So that's a very good culminating activity for this to end this school year, particularly with your subject. So let me now go through some examples. This is a suggestion for science, high school science. So another example, sorry, from the chat box, business corporation problem looking for opportunities to create employment. Ayan. So maganda rin yung topic na yan, particularly for, I think for senior high or college to, ma'am, no? Yung mga, lalo na yung mga nasa strand ng BBM, business. It's also a good thing. Okay. So for high school students, let's say for example, they're going to design a solution to reduce plastic pollution in their local community. So again, the simple idea, right? How do you reduce the plastic pollution in the local community? So the first stage is to, number one, of course, empathize. You conduct interview, of course, in the community members. Let's say for example, sa barangay nila, napansin ng mga bata na maraming plastic, maraming nagbebenta ng single-use plastic, ang tinatapon na kung saan-saan yung plastic. So you have to identify what is the impact of the use of plastic in their barangay or in their local community. And then we also ask them to observe the practices that the barangay or the community has been doing on how they dispose their output, their wastes. Okay. And then from there, they have to single out, they have to pinpoint what exactly is the one that the main problem in that particular community. Bakit ang daming plastic? Okay. Next is to, of course, define the problem. Okay. They will have to identify key issues contributing to plastic pollution, such as the use of single-use plastic, packaging from local businesses, and inadequate yung recycling infrastructure na. So it's a community, di ba? So ayan. So we are now identifying what napansin ng mga bata na walang recycling sa barangay nila or sa community nila. Now, we have to ideate. They have to come up with a tentative solution. So you ask them to brainstorm. How do you think you can reduce the plastic waste? So one solution could be designing a reusable shopping bags. Another is to raise awareness about the use of plastic pollution, or it could be recycling program, or some of them will teach the community on how they can recycle. These are just examples of how they can ideate or promote a solution for the problem. And then eventually we do the prototyping. So again, just like what has been mentioned earlier, they could do mock-ups of reusable bags. They can draft an educational materials, or even a plan that can be addressed to the barangay captain, a proposal. For example, we would like to conduct a talk to the community on how we can help them do recycling, and then what can we do, what can be done with the plastic that have been used. Or you can organize a cleanup events. So these are examples of things that the students can do to solve the problem, the impact of what is the impact of the use of plastic in their community. And of course, to test it, they have to bring the bags if they created the reusable bags, and then ito yung campaign. Okay, let's say for example, they have conducted the recycling program, and then from there, the simple paper, question and answer paper, ask for their feedback and see if they have learned something from the activity. So again, feedbacking is very important, or giving a feedback is very important. Kasi in order for them to see if it really is effective, they have to get it from the participants themselves. Tama? Kasi sila yung involved doon sa problem. Sila yung involved sa community. So is it effective? Was it effective? Are the bags effective? Are these, or do these initiative of recycling program effective? So you have to really think if this really is effective through the feedback that you will be getting from, of course, your participants. Okay, questions po? Questions so far? Okay, before I continue sharing with you the output from my students to see the actual application of this. They see a thumbs up po if I can continue now with the next part. Thank you very much. Thank you very much po. Okay, so moving forward, let me now share with you the sample, the application. So this is from my grade 10 computer education. So again, the topic is all about digital citizenship, focusing on cyber crimes and different online violations. Ito po yung mga cyberbullying, spamming, phishing, scamming, farming, all of these things that are anything that something to do with cyber crimes and online violation. So the idea is I created a grasp or a performance task wherein their goal is to apply the design thinking principles to create innovative solutions and suggestions that will raise awareness about the pressing issues on online violations and cybercrimes. Because you notice mukhang challenging, right? But the idea is already highlighted. I just want my students to create a solution to raise awareness. That's why it's highlighted in yellow, because that's the main idea. That's the main target. That's the main objective, to raise awareness about the pressing issues of on online violations and cybercrimes. The next part is, of course, what is their role? So I think some of you naman have been doing performance tasks with the GRASP. So I gave here an example. So their role is to be a team of creative problem solvers and designers tasked with addressing the urgent need for awareness about online violations and cybercrimes in our school community. So it's just focused more on the school community. And then, who are the audiences? Who are the participants? The solutions should target fellow students, number one, teachers, parents, staff, janitors, guards, and students from lower grades, if it's applicable, if they can get data from the pupils of grade school. You see, I also made emphasis on staff, janitors, and guards, because we all know that most of the pressing issues that is the awareness. Now, many of our staff and janitors and guards have been a victim of scamming, di ba? Madali silang mabiktima ng scamming. Why? Again, going back to the goal is to raise awareness. Kasi madali mag-text, right? Naalala niyo pa nung before, yung advertisement sa PLDT, yung caller ID, yung dugo gang, that's what they call it, if you still recall that. The dugo gang will call you and then will pretend to be like your sir or your mom who got into an accident and then they need the money. So the yaya will, or the housekeeper will give the money, di ba? So yun yung example. And now mas madali na, hindi na sa phone, tama? Sa message, one-time pin, GCash, ang dami pa rin naloloko, right? And then even teachers and fellow students, even their yayas, their fetchers, their drivers, lahat ng taong involved can be a victim, right? And that's the main goal, is to raise awareness on how we can prevent it from happening. Okay? And then the situation goes like this. Of course, it's the online violations, the cyber crimes, all of them are important parts. No, we have to come up with an effective way to understand, prevent, and respond to these challenges. And of course, their product is to, again, as I've mentioned, prototype or the product need not to be tangible. It can be through a video game, through an experience, through a talk, through a campaign talk, things like that. All of these are examples of prototype that can be tested. Okay, so what can they choose from? So they can create a presentation just like what I'm sharing with you. So how can they do with the presentation? They create a video out of it, borrow a TV from the media team, put it in the entrance or the resting area of the guards and janitors and the fetchers, the waiting area, canteen for students to see, basketball beside the basketball court or anywhere where students are gathering, and watch a short video, an infographic, a poster about a specific topic. Okay, a solution might be it should apply to different stages of the design thinking to promote a positive online culture. And of course, they have to consider the access of their participants. sir, limited po yung internet ng mga bata. Limited yung internet ng mga janitors kasi they cannot access the Wi-Fi of the school. So what can they do? You put a TV while they're cleaning, they can watch, they can listen, diba? Things like that. So those are examples. Okay. So these are, let me just reshare with you. I want to reshare another one. This one is from the PDF. Ayan. So kung i-share sa inyo po ang PDF. Ayan. Okay, so I think I'll just go by this very quickly. So you can see naman, you can see the example. So this is for grade 10. So the title of the mini PBL is Designing Solutions for Digital Responsibility. So I have here, I created the worksheet. I created this template where I already placed the different stages and then a tip where they can start, a sample statement that they can use to somehow guide them through the process, and then eventually the empty tables that they're supposed to fill in as a group. So remember, this is a group activity. So this group's activity is, or the main goal of this group is to ways to prevent phishing or getting scammed, and what steps to take to avoid falling victim into online scams. So these are done by this group. So this is the exemplar from this batch. So again, the goal is to learn how to identify suspicious emails, messages, or items. Okay, and they also interviewed a teacher. This is a PE teacher, a colleague of mine, Mr. Montemayor. Okay, and then the interview goals, ways to prevent, learn how to identify. And then other information, the observation. So this came from the students. No, another example would be ito pa. So they consulted a teacher, even they consulted me about the things and see if the suggestions from Mr. Montemayor are also acceptable or not. Sabi ko yes, because he's also undergoing. He knew a friend who was a victim of scamming and phishing through text, yung mga nangihingi ng one-time pin na nabigay at nawalan ng pera sa GCash. Things like that. Okay? And then, this is a long document actually. So the second stage is, of course, the define stage. So here you have the brief description, the tips on what the students can do, and where can they start. And again, the 4 W's. So the who, the what, the where, and the why. So again, this is the nitty-gritty should be discussed naman in your classroom. So this is just this is me sharing with you what the students came up with. So for stage 2, what are the key thoughts that make them identify or choose the problem? So again, look at the review. Ito yung mga steps on how they can promote or construct the problem insight statement. Okay. So Mr. Mayor needs a way to research items online quickly because of a lot of online scams and buying items online. So things like that. And then the actionable problem statement. And then for stage 3, again, same thing, tips with description, what can they include? And then here, you have to ask them at least, for example, I asked them to come up with 5 tentative solutions. Ayan. A bot that scours the internet, mga suggestions ng mga bata. Create a persuasive poster to spread awareness. Create a short but informative video. A social media posts on phishing and its detrimental effects. Make stickers, stories, artworks, what phishing is all about. Okay, and then they have to rank it up. What are their chosen top 3 solutions? Kasi medyo marami, right? So they have to narrow it down to top 2 or top 3. So ang gusto nila bot, ito medyo feasible ba ito? Just like what Mrs. Demihil mentioned. Is it feasible? Is it possible to do? So nahirapan sila. So they came up with their prototype to create a poster. Ayan. So very simple, right? A poster that will be posted around the campus and be given to the people, to the staff, to the janitors, to the students, to their classmates, to lower grade students, and see examples like that. So phishing proof, an example niya. And then the testing phase, was it effective? Was the poster effective? So using Google Forms, they were able to ask feedback from those who were given the poster. So ang ginawa nila, from 10 participants, kasi nga kulang sa time din yung ginawa. So this one, kulang sa time, but they were able to come up with the result. No? So and they were able to gather feedback from the following participants. So here are the evidences also, as I asked them to take documentations, videos of who they interviewed, and these are teachers. Also, they're asking feedback from the teachers if they are, if it was effective or things like that to give feedback. And also, I gave them the link I included here where they need to put the link for the forms and of course the documentation where they can save all the pictures. Okay, very quickly, let me share with you the grade 9 PBL. So the PBL is a project-based learning where we are part of it, and then their solution is to choose from SDG goals, particularly SDG 9, which is in innovation, infrastructure, and 10 or 11, technology. So ang gagawin nila, teachers, they will create a design, a 3D model that would help the solution in a particular country of their choice. So for example, this is from the group of my students. They're going to use a lawn mower. So in creating the lawn mower, they have to tell me how will this lawn mower be helpful for the people. For example, the country that they have chosen is, I think this is Uganda. Wait lang, it's here at the bottom. Costa Rica, and the agricultural aspect of Costa Rica. So there are 3 members in the group. So this is from 1 student, and this is from the 2nd student, solar panels, and this is from the 3rd student. So they come up with one idea, which is a lawnmower, a solar-powered lawnmower, but different ideas from them. Okay. Another example is this one. This group naman is creating a carbon dioxide capturer. So ano yung country nila? Uganda. See, the idea is the people of Uganda, since para sa Africa banda, diba, it's more of how they, sorry for that one, they created, using the Tinkercad free online 3D modeling, they were able to create something like this. Diba? You imagine, no? The idea is, how can you help the people of Uganda lessen their carbon emission? Oh, you see, the idea is how they can come up with solutions, right? So they created a factory that will capture the carbon. Another one, so siyempre hindi man lahat talaga, di ba? And then, ayan. So kanya-kanya sila idea. It's more of how they are able to come up with it. Another example is this one. This one is, let's say, this one is tuk-tuk. Okay, ang kanila naman ay sa Philippines, ang settings nila. So, the tuk-tuk, di ba, yung mga tricycle natin ngayon na pinagbabawal na, the e-trike as well, sa mga major roads. So, their idea is to come up with an e-tuk-tuk, electronic tuk-tuk, for example. So, ayan, pagandang sila lang gawa. How will this be able to help the transportation system? Okay, so ito, ang kanila ata was the jeepney, if I'm not mistaken. So gumawa sila ng alternative solution for that. And this is one of their solutions, di ba? Gagaling nila, di ba? And last one, this will be the last one. This one naman is I forgot the country, but this is again for farming. Yeah? So they are going to create a farm bot, fully automated remote managed botanical operating technology. So sila yung gumawa niyan. The idea is from them. This one does not need human to navigate or observe the agricultural farms, but a robot will do it for them. So you see how creative with it. With the use of technology, with the right technology and tools, they will be able to create a solution. But the only limitation would be their imagination, no? Yun yung maganda sa ginagawa nila. Okay? Okay, so may mga nagko-comment na po sa ating chat box. Gusto ko si Mr. Ariel Salonga, may grasp na siya. Very nice. Okay. Yeah. So yun po yung ano natin, no? May question, may comment dito si Miss, I don't know, Jean Indino. Yung mga nabibiktima ng malware and spyware and phishing and scamming, no? Very common na siya. And that's a good thing. No? How can we promote or raise awareness in order for the people, no? For the chosen community or the members of the community to be mindful and not to be a victim again, not to fall victim from these scams and phishing alerts. So again, these are just some of the examples. I hope you liked the application. No? As much as I want to give more examples, but I'm only given limited time to share with you. And I hope with the examples I gave you, you have thought of an activity where you can also do, and then probably share it with your fellow teachers. No? Okay, kayo, you sit down together, you think of a solution, and then of course just make sure that the students are able to also access the technology. Gaya kasi niyan yung sa 3D modeling. It's a free, by the way. Tinkercad, I'm not promoting, but I'm just sharing with you. Tinkercad is a free app. It's an online app. If you have computers or iPads or tablets, they can access it. They just have to create an account, and then you ask them to create a 3D model. The most accessible way to create a solution. So that's it. As for my part, you're going to create an activity teachers. Just share that first. Okay. So here, if Mrs. Demihilio, I'll be asking for your help. If it still be feasible or possible for them to do this. So I want you to create a simple reel, a 30-second reel, where you're going to share with us how you think you can use either engineering design process or the design thinking process to your specific subject area. So you think of a topic, yung kanina, I saw one teacher shared, may grasp na nga siya. So how can you create a reel, sir or ma'am? I forgot the name. Create a reel on how you can use design thinking in order for you to achieve the goal of your grasp or performance.
So once again, dear participants, we're on the Q&A part or portion of our discussion or session for this afternoon. But I would like to thank po Miss Jessica and Sir David for that very engaging, informative, and interesting discussion po about the engineering and the design thinking process. I know and nakita naman po natin sa chat box kanina, very active yung mga participants and they're very engaging and participative when it comes to our topic a while ago. So, dear participants, this is the perfect time to park your questions or ask some clarifications if you'd like to ask some clarifications about the topic that Miss Jessica and Sir David have discussed a while ago. This is the perfect time to raise your questions or ask those clarifications po. Ayan. Baka yung iba medyo busy pa sa paggawa po ng output nila. But don't worry, dear participants, you can submit po your output within the day. Ayan. Yung output naman po natin or yung activity natin for this afternoon is one of ways para ma-check natin ano ba yung mga pros or doon sa natutunan natin, how we can apply that on our classroom discussion with our students. Ayan po. So do you have any questions po for our speakers? Let me check our chat box here. Mhm. So I guess there are no more questions from our speakers, and we're glad from our participants, sorry, and we're glad po that everything that's been discussed sits well with you. But before we proceed with our next slide, may I ask our participants to at least share a two-word description of what did you learn about the topic, or what caught your attention about this topic this afternoon? Can you share at least two words that can describe your learning for this afternoon session? Ayan po. Informative from Ma'am Adelma. Ayan. Insightful. Yes, I agree. Very ano siya, new and informative, very knowledgeable yung mga sharing for this afternoon session po. Excellent and informative. Student-centered. Yes. Proactive. Engaging. Ayan, so I'm seeing lots of chats here in our chat box. Yan, yung iba, one word, two words to describe their learning for this afternoon. And we're glad that you have learned a lot from our topic this afternoon. So, if wala na po tayong questions, wala na po ba?
Claire, can I just end with a note muna before
Sure.
you
Sure.
move on to the next? Thanks
Sure.
everyone for your two words to describe the session this afternoon. I was just caught with one statement here regarding how difficult or challenging the task is for students because of limited time. And I agree. Because the engineering design process and the design thinking process needs time to actually run it. So I think that's one thing that I'd like to leave this afternoon session with is before you actually plan to use this particular processes or these new techniques and activities in your classrooms, think first, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to actually move in order to be able to use it in your lesson? Do you have enough time to apply it? Okay, do you have enough situations? Do you have enough resources? Are your kids equipped to actually do the task? And if you think you are, then do the entire design thinking process or the entire engineering design process. But if your students are not prepared for a long session, again, similar to what Dave and I have been mentioning a while ago, you can do activities only or steps only. So it need not be the entire thing. Pwedeng empathy and then ideate lang. Pwedeng empathy, ideate, and then prototyping. Pwedeng ask, design, and then evaluate. So it doesn't really need to be the entire thing. So pwedeng konti lang, pwedeng lahat. Depende sa kapasidad ng mga students at saka depende syempre sa goal natin as a teacher. Okay? So all you need to do is to think first, what do I want my students to attain? What do I want my students to learn? And if you're sure with that, then these are just strategies to help you attain them. Okay? And I'm glad that a lot of you have been using it in the classroom. I hope that more students will be able to experience this. And if you have actually used it in the classroom already, please record the 30-second video application so that we can share it to other people. So it's really a difficult task. Ang hirap mag-check. Imagine how many stages will you be checking. But it need not be one teacher only. It can be a synergy project, a group of teachers checking one major project. So it depends on how you want or how ambitious you want to be able to apply this. So I hope if you have concerns or questions or reactions regarding this, I think they can send you our emails so that you can ask us. Okay. So again, thank you. Dave, do you have anything to end the session?
Hi. Once again, thank you everyone. Thank you also from TNE. I'd just like to open this question, lang, Miss. I think you've answered, Mrs. Demihilio has answered the question from an anonymous attendee. And it's a question and answer box. How long is your suggested time allotment? Again, just like what Mrs. Demihilio mentioned, depending on the topic. And yung mga negotiables and non-negotiables nyo, you will be the one to pinpoint or point that out, which can be taken away, which can be included, things like that. So again, budgeting and feasibility is important. And of course, yung mga comment po na nakita ko dito sa chat box natin, yung connectivity, that's also a thing that you have to consider. Is the project or is the design thinking activity that you want to give your students include connectivity? Will they be posting? Will they be doing group activity, things like that? So yun po yung mga you have to consider as well. And then one question here from the chat box. Do you have to, needed po ba siya as part of teaching all the time as an English teacher or as long as relevant po siya sa teaching? Please clarify. It's like what Mrs. Demihilio mentioned, no? It can be done part by part. Hindi siya kailangan na isang bagsakan na ituro. Kasi syempre, it's also something that the students won't appreciate if you will give everything in one sitting or in one discussion. So it can be done chunk by chunk, part by part. So that can be done. I hope you learned a lot from our sharing, and of course, you also we gave you an example for you to ponder upon, particularly if the specific topics that are applicable also for the use of engineering and design thinking. Thank you very much po.
All right, thank you so much. Sir David and Miss Jessica, once again, thank you for your insightful and valuable sharing for us this afternoon. Very informative and refreshing daw po as per Sir Daniel. Ayan, so meron pa po dito excited na daw sila ipagawa sa mga students nila yung itong klase, yung natutunan nila for today. All right, so are we all ready to go or to proceed with our next slides? Kindly please type number 4 in the chat box if you're all okay na, if you don't have any questions na for our speakers. All right, so while waiting for the others, meron po palang pahabol na question here in our Q&A box. For the engineering process po, is it needed na maging part siya sa lesson or either way lang po basta may relevance siya sa topics or lessons being taught? So I guess as mentioned po a while ago, it's up to you, dear teachers, on how to apply it. You better know kung paano natin siya i-apply sa ating mga sa lesson po natin. Hindi naman siya agad-agad na lahat, yung process na yon is i-apply natin. Tama po, Miss Jessica and Sir David. Or you want to add something?
That's correct. Similar to what David has said,
yeah,
pedagogy is always important. You only use things when they're needed. So
yes,
when it's applicable, then use it. If it's not needed, find another way to use it. So it need not be also the steps, all the steps. You can pick activities that are related to the steps as well. So again, thank you. Bye, everyone.